Welcome back to another 6-inch Black Series figure review. Today we have Darth Revan, and this was actually the figure I think I was looking forward to the most in this wave. A lot of other people must be thinking the same thing because it's rather hard to find, I understand. If you're not familiar with the character of Darth Revan, it's from the original Knights of the Old Republic video game, which came out in 2003. I played it back on the original Xbox and really loved it. It's a great game. It's not only a great role-playing game, it's a great Star Wars game. I think it's the best Star Wars game I've played in reality, even today. It's set 1,000 years before the events of basically any of the movies. It's really quite a fascinating universe that they created for the game, building, of course, on Star Wars characters and races and all sorts of things like that, but they also added some stuff of their own, including characters like Darth Revan. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you haven't played it, to give it a try. It's very cheap now. I mean, even if you pay absolute full price, you're not going to pay more than $10. And if you look on places like the App Store, Apple App Store, or I assume Android as well, you can get it sometimes on sale for like $3 or something ridiculous like that. In fact, I recently started playing it through again on my phone just because, you know, having this figure in the pipeline kind of reminded me of the game and made me nostalgic to want to play it again. It's a really great game. I played already like a dozen hours or more, and that's, you know, I've really only scratched the surface of the game. There's that much to do in it, so I would recommend it. It's a little clunky in certain aspects compared to a modern role-playing game, but if you can get past that, it really holds up remarkably well, and especially like on a phone or a tablet or something like that, it actually works better than you might think, and looks pretty good because they've used high-res textures that are way better than what they had back on the original Xbox when I was playing it. Now, I'm not entirely sure if the game would be considered canon nowadays, if it's really considered to be part of the new Disney-fied Star Wars universe, although the fact that they're coming out with this figure is kind of an interesting thing, isn't it? I don't know what that means, frankly, but they have made a couple, from what I understand, a couple of references, subtle ones, to the events that happened in the game in recent shows like Star Wars Rebels, so maybe that's sort of a hint that they're open to the idea of keeping that canon. I'd certainly be interested in seeing a movie or a modern game based on this for sure. In any case, this here is number 34, and on the back, as usual, it has a little blurb about the character. It says, "The enigmatic former hero of the Jedi Civil War, Darth Revan continued to play a pivotal role in the ongoing war between the Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic." And that is a very kind of vague description, isn't it? That doesn't really tell you a whole heck of a lot. But I think they're trying to avoid spoilers of multiple kinds there, so I'm not going to say any more. I'm looking forward to seeing what this looks like out of the package, so let's go ahead and open it up. So this is one cool-looking figure, if you ask me. I've always been a fan of this design, but yeah, they pulled it off pretty well. Now, this is, again, a sort of hybrid design here. They've got soft goods for this sort of inner robe or skirt and for the cloak, but this sort of a hanging sash, or I don't know what you'd call this, and most notably the hood, are sculpted. It's as I've talked about in other reviews, it's always a little bit difficult to know where to draw the line, where to make it soft goods and where not to. They could have done this in particular out of plastic, and it might have looked a little bit better when it's just standing here like this, but it would have severely limited the articulation, so maybe that's what they had in mind there. Similarly, they did not choose to make the hood out of cloth, as they have with things like the Kylo Ren figure. And I think part of that is, you know, with Kylo Ren, you kind of want to be able to take the hood off just to, you know, see the resemblance to Darth Vader in the helmet. There's not really any need to do that here. I'm not even sure offhand if Darth Revan was seen without the hood in the game. I can't remember. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good. It does, however, severely, well, it doesn't restrict articulation. It completely eliminates articulation. Basically, you can't move the head, as far as I can tell, at all. So that is one downside. This cape is also pretty thin. You can see right through it. Look at that. I wish that was a little thicker. Even the material they used here is better because you can't see through that. But they did do a good job here, making it all ragged looking, as it should be. That's pretty awesome. I like that. Otherwise, the armor is well sculpted. It's in a kind of an unusual bronzy color, which I guess is accurate. I mean, it's a little hard to translate from a video game, particularly one that's a little bit older. It's not photorealistic or anything. It's hard to know exactly what it should look like in reality, but yeah, I mean, it looks enough like Revan to me. Now we have, of course, two lightsabers, one purple and one red. Basically what you'd expect. I'm not even going to try on these. I don't think the blades are removable on these. There's no place for him to hang them from a belt or anything like that, so I doubt if they would have bothered. So, if we want to look, excuse me, Revan here, look under the skirt here. We've got, the usual articulation. Basically everything under here is just black, except for the knee pads, which is, that's all you'd theoretically be able to see. Very cool design. I really like this design. Obviously the people who designed Kylo Ren thought the same, because look, I have got the figure right here, and they are definitely similar in many ways. This design of the helmet in particular, it's hard to imagine that they're not related, although this one looks better if you ask me. Everything looks better on here if you ask me. Sorry, Kylo. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about this. I mean, I have no real complaints. I only feel like, this metallic color here could be a little bit more metallic-y looking. I don't know. It looks a little weird. A little almost pink color, which I'm not sure about. And there's also a visible mold line, it looks like, unless that's intended to be part of the armor. I'm not sure. But yeah, no real complaints here. I do, as I said, recommend that you try out the game if you haven't played it. We still have one or two more figures left to go in this wave, so be sure to stop by and see those when I review them shortly. Thanks for watching.